have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream.
The thing I want to say to you is we got to take these motherfuckers out. I think that white people are committed to being villains in the aggregate, right? The real sort of issue here, and I've heard people sort of say it, is one, I think that white people viscerally fear. It's not that white people don't know, right, what they have done. They know. They fear that there is no other way to be human but the way in which they are human. They say stuff like, it's just human nature. If y'all had all of this power, you would have done the same thing, right? And it's like, no, that's what white humans did. White human beings thought there's a world here and we own it. Prior to them, Black and brown people have been sailing across oceans, interacting with each other for centuries without total subjugation, domination, and colonialism.
What's going on, everyone? It's Talks with Kenny here today, and welcome to the video. We're going to be talking about Martin Luther King's dream. Today's his day. Today's Martin Luther King's birthday, I believe. This is why we celebrate it on January 15th. I just wanted to highlight some issues that I see with DEI. I believe DEI spits on the memory of Martin Luther King. Let's excuse the fact that possibly Martin Luther King was a Marxist, and more likely he was. That the dream that he talked about it may have been equity, but equity, as we know, is unrealistic standard to strive for, right? People within the same racial group don't even have equal outcomes. So how can you expect people of different groups to have equal outcomes? I think that's a pipe dream. I think it's an abstract fairy tale used to sell people authoritarianism and government power. And that is untenable. I don't think it's possible for equity, but equal opportunity, I believe, is an ideal that we should strive for as Americans. So as you saw in the intro, you saw a whole lot of racism with this black lady out here, this pseudo intellectual. And this is my problem with a lot of these DEI advocates. This is why I say critical race theory is garbage, is trash, because it only sows more racism. Affirmative action is racism under new management. No one can deny that. Now, a lot of these people now are pretty much using the same tactics that was inflicted upon them by slave owners in the past. Now they're doing the same talking points in the future. And I think a lot of modern Black Americans are spinning on the memory of Martin Luther King, right? So here's a post from Kamala Harris, the diversity hire president. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King saw a future as a future of equity. I don't think so. I think equality is the better term, justice and opportunity for all. As we have honored him today, it is on us to carry out his work. And I believe the Democrats never were the party of equality. I think the Democrats are always the party of manipulation, control, right? Look what happens when you challenge their narrative. Look what happened when you question their worldview. They'll try to smear you, mislabel you, discredit you. They don't play in the game of truths. And the truth is that you're condoning racism to justify the hatred of a certain group of people merely because of the way they were born. You saw the intro. Look, you can say a lot about me, but I show you evidence of what I'm talking about. This pseudo-intellectualism, anti-racism, which is really racism. This cannot stand. We're one nation, right? One nation under God, right? This is the vision that Martin Luther King had. That two people, regardless if he's a descendant of a slave owner or descendant of a slave, can sit down and be considered brothers, aka one nation. But when you have two different standards for one nation, you're going to create what? Division. You're going to create fractions within the society. Because only one standard for one nation. If the standards is differently applied, or you have two different standards for two different people, you're essentially going to create two different countries within a nation. And people wonder why we're so polarized. Why we can't come to agreement on basic facts. Because of people like that lady in the beginning. And the fact that the lady spews such misinformation is so funny and ridiculous. She talking about, before white people got involved, we wasn't subjugating other people. That was a white people thing. That's a white human thing. Look how she tries to racialize human nature as if based on your skin color, you display different aspects of human nature compared to other groups of people. Asinine argument, dumb argument, ignorant of history. That's what we're talking about. In our culture, we silence people with knowledge, with perspective, with nuance. We shout them out of our society. But people who are idiotic, like this lady here, we allow them to have such a big megaphone in our social media. I don't understand this culture. And it's honestly pissing me off. Because I'm a man. Look, this is superficial. This is nothing. I can't tell anything about you because of your skin color. But this lady thinks she can. If she read any African history, she'll know that the Africans subjugated slaves first. They were the first people to make black people slaves. The white man bought you fair and square because you were sold as property to begin with. You can thank the Africans for doing that. White people wasn't able to survive the climate of Africa. White people got as much close to the coast. The Africans took care of the rest. You subjugated each other, and then you want to sit here and pretend that, the world would be a lot better place. We would never do the same thing white people did if we were in their shoes. That's a dehumanizing language that lady used. She tried to treat white people as an other. Just as in the past, when slave owners, to justify them breaking the Constitution, they're saying, no, black people aren't really people. You're using the same dehumanizing tactics that your ancestors suffered through, and then you use your very suffering that your ancestors suffered through as justification for treating white people of today for the sins of people of the same race. Imagine that. I always make this argument all the time. Imagine if all the other racial groups in America decided to treat black people the same way they treated white people. Black people wouldn't stand for it. You guys are criminals. Look at all the criminality. Look at all the hate crimes you black people participate in. We can't trust black people around here. Black people will have a riot on our hands. They will be fuming right now. And this is what I'm saying. Black power only exists off of white guilt. If the day white people stop feeling guilty about themselves is the day black power, all this pseudo intellectual stuff go bye-bye. And I'm speaking to white people here. Hey, look, I believe no one should be ashamed of their race. Nobody, period. I don't care how it's going to come across in the conversation because I'm tired of this ish now. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people calling me names because I'm standing up for principles on principle. I call it down the middle. If it's racist on one, if it's racist on one end, it's racist on the other. Inversion theory. But it seems like these people don't have any principles that they believe in. But I digress. So another aspect of how I said that DEI stuff is destroying Martin Luther King's dream is that currently United is on this crusade about they want to emphasize your skin color. They want to emphasize your gender because they want to go for a quota. A racial quota and gender quota are key considerations when determining who will be piloting your next upcoming flight. Imagine that. You putting people's lives at risk over the altar of DEI. Let's take a look at the clip.
Military. How is diversity and diversity targets working into the Aviate Academy?
We have committed that 50% of the class of the classes will be women or people of color. Today, only 19% of our pilots at United Airlines are women or people of color. And by the way, from all the data I've seen, that's the highest of any airline in the country.
These people don't care about y'all. This is just a means of control, in my view. Right? If you want to benefit yourself, you tell people what they want to hear. This is just, there's a reason why the NBA is 74% black. Because the black people tend to create the better athletes. If we want the best of the best, we have to allow it to ride. Everyone has an opportunity to try out, but not everyone deserves to make the team. That is the principles of meritocracy. But to sit here and say, look, Biden's FAA is actively recruiting people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities as part of their diversity and inclusion plan. More like diversity and destruction plan. This is how you destroy a nation. This is how you fracture a nation. DEI's purpose is divide and conquer. To create tribal politics. To to separate people in forms of categories. Oh, you're a black man, you're right here. You're a white man, you're right here. You're a Hispanic man, you're right here. So then Democrats can come around their usual playbook and be like, hey, we promised something specifically for black people. We promised something specifically for Hispanic people. And white people, if you don't want to be a bigot, you'll go along with it. That's the tactics. They're mentally conditioning people so they think alongside a collective, so that way they're easier to market to by the Democrats. The Democrats don't have to have sound policy to run on. They just have to run on, let me run on this, let me run that, let me run that. Okay, that's it. Pandering. That's all they want. The Democrats want to do. They want to be able to pander to a group, say, hey, we're for you, aka tribal politics, so they can get their coalition and win election. Republicans on principle has always been the party of, hey, we treat everyone the same. We don't give special treatment out here. If you want special treatment, you go to the Democratic Party. Because if the Democratic Party give you special treatment, they also can discriminate against you. Ask any black person that thinks contrary to what they believe. Black conservatives numerous times have illustrated how white liberals and all these people act racist towards them, and black liberals just stand there and turn a blind eye to it. Because at the end of the day, black liberals was never about being pro-black. They're just being about pro-Democrat, and that's the reality. That's the reality of Al Sharpton. That they're just the middleman. Oh, Democrats, how much money are you gonna pay me to get these black people to vote for you? And their kids go to private school while the common black Democratic voter, their kids go to the worst option public school, right? Where the environment is not conducive for success for them, where teachers having a hard time teaching because they have such disruptive kids and they can't discipline them because it will be considered racist. All you got to do is think back to Democratic policies. But black people don't want to see the pudding. They don't want to see the results. They want to believe the narrative. So I have a clip here that I want to continue, which is the white people are the worst video. And it just shows that the Democrats has always been the party of hatred and division, right? Look at when they defended slavery. Oh, they're going to take away your property, white people. All the money you invested in your property, they're going to take it away and they're going to free them. Oh, they're doing the same thing here. Oh, look, white people are the worst. Look at all the oppression they sowed upon you. But Democrats want to conveniently leave out how their party was responsible and actually the source of America's racism. The American racism that these white liberals, black Democrats love to blame on America. Oh, America was racist. Okay, who was the source of America's racism? The Democratic Party. But they don't tell you that part. They want to pretend the party switched. Nope. Black people's perception of the party switched. That's the only thing that switched. Instead of Democrats discriminating against black people, now they discriminate for black people, and that's what changed the perception for the black voter. The party's never switched. But, I digress. Let's get into a little bit of the clip to extension of my point, and then I'll end the video.
Male, too pale, and too stale.
The white liberal woman is the worst thing to ever happen in America. Do you agree? Let me know in the comment section, because this is ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. White guilt. If white people don't tolerate this, it'll be end. That's what I'm saying. If white people acted just like black people, all this ish will stop right in its tracks. This is what I'm saying. Black power relies on white guilt. To me, if you're powerful, it's independent of whether a community of another group acknowledge you or not. And this shows how codependent black Americans are to white liberals. And then they want to sit here and pretend, oh, we call them all down the same. No, you don't. This is a warning Malcolm X gave about white liberals. White liberals act like you're friends, but secretly you're just a pawn for their own ends.
Too male, too pale, and too stale.
Look at that cringe smile.
Male, too pale, and too stale.
The problem with white people. The truth is, America has always prioritized white comfort over black survival.
Now it prioritizes black comfort over everyone's survival. That's what the reparations argument is about now. You'll doom this whole place to hyperinflation for black comfort. How is this not black fragility? I don't know. I'm not a fragile person. Like, I could take criticism. Like, I took it all my life. I had coaches curse at me. Like, I come from the black. I had a hard life. People who disagree with me in the comment section ain't gonna hurt my feelings. Okay? All these supposedly black people in my comment section making claims about, oh, you're a sellout, you're this. And I'm like, how? All I'm saying is let's treat everyone the same. Let's go by the same rules. The government shouldn't be making special calls for one group because their ancestors got oppressed when the current generation never experienced none of the same oppression as their ancestors. But we're supposed to reward them for the suffering of their ancestors? Make that moral argument for me in the comment section, please. I'll wait. And Democrats was the very party that stopped reparations for your ancestors in the first place. The vice president of Abraham Lincoln took power after he died. He was a Democrat. And he stopped all this emancipation proclamation stuff. Where's my woke black liberals, progressives calling out the Democrat Party for that? The Tulsa massacre that happened on Black Wall Street, that was Democrat. That was a Democratic state. When the South was still racist, that was the Democrats. Where's the accountability for that? This is what I'm saying. These DEI advocates, they're spitting on the memory of Martin Luther King. Because Martin Luther King called, hey, one nation, a brotherhood, based on nationalism, not based on skin color. We're going to have race riots all over again. We're going to have race wars all over again. And it's going to happen the minute white people stop feeling guilty about themselves. This shows how powerless black people really are. That even here, they pretend that white people are the devils, they're so evil and all this stuff. But all their power is dependent on the sympathy and understanding of white people themselves. Because I show you examples. If white people don't do none of the stuff that black people would get called coons for, because essentially I'm doing what white liberals are doing right now. Hey, this country's not fair. We prioritize white comfort over black survival. Wouldn't white people be justified calling that white liberal a sellout? But if a black person called it out, oh, you guys, look, this is what I'm saying. The perception changed the minute it goes against your confirmation, black people. I say call it down the middle. Hey, we all playing by the same rules. No one has the same starting fight. Life was never fair. Life isn't fair. The only thing that should be fair is judgment. Some people start off in two-parent households. That's an advantage. Some people start off being born to rich parents. That's an advantage. But to sit here and cry, oh, this place was never equal. So what? All we care about is the game called the same. It doesn't matter if this guy is 6 foot 6 inches and you're only 5'11". You're still playing by the same rules. You're not going to have the same outcome. This is all based in entitlement. And I think the biggest problem here is that a lot of people, black and white, they don't understand rights and privileges. What is a right and what is a privilege? A right is, hey, we all play by the same rules. A privilege is being born in a two-parent household. A privilege is coming from educated background. A privilege is having attentive parents that teach you correct values for success. Those are privileges. But then in this culture, this racialized culture we live in today, they make your skin color equivalent to a privilege. What a stupid argument that is. And I'll debate that with anyone in the comment section. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts about this. Do you agree with me? Is DEI poison to Martin Luther King's memory? Or do you think DEI is actually inspiring the vision of Martin Luther King? I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.